Hoobity hoo. You do. Welcome back to Comic Book Making Club. So let's jump right in. Last time we talked about character designs and how to draw the perfect character for the perfect comic. This week we're talking about character development, how to write the perfect character for the comic. Before we begin, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe what you know about character development. Let's start off with, as always, I do my research, I got my notes. Fact check me if you need to. Sorry for the dings. I'm a little bit famous, so ding, ding, ding. All right, just chuck that. That was a bad idea because that was my iPad. All right, so the process in building the perfect character is you want to create a unique three-dimensional character. They need to have depth, personality, and motivation. What's driving them? With our character development, you want to also refer through the changes that they go through in their story over the course of the story, whether it's a single issue, a single 100-page graphic novel, or throughout the entire series. So to start, you want to define your protagonists. Set their goals, their motivations, and their values. So their goals are, what do they want? What do they want in the story? Goldilocks wants a free meal. Okay? That's what she wants. Motivation. Why do they want to achieve that goal? Why does Goldilocks want the free meal? Goldilocks wants a free meal because they're not feeding her at home. Okay? She's borderline an orphan. They're not feeding her. Then, number 3 are values. What are the characteristics that's driving that character to want what they want? Because she's grown up without any family, she doesn't really understand morals and how to interact with people, so she wants this free meal. I'm sorry, Goldilocks. I really apologize, but you are our character of comic book club, so all my reference will try to refer back to Goldilocks and the Three Bears. This way we don't run into copyrights and things like that. So fun. Okay, part 2. So we've got let's recap real quick. Boop, boop, boop. Like, share, and subscribe. Goal, she wants the free meal. Motivation, she hasn't been well fed. Her values, I can get it wherever I can get it. Okay, next, now how do we show these things? How do we detail them of the goals, the motivation, the values? We have characterization. Now in film, you can apply a lot of film things to comic books, and that's where I study most of my research from, studying films and directors and film writing. So, characterization is how a character is revealed to the audience. Their age, their job, their personality, their worldview. These values define true character. They show why they want what they want. There are 2 forms of characterizations: direct and indirect. You can use both. You can have indirect and direct elements part of the storytelling. It's just a little off center. Nope, I made it worse. Okay, there we go. Sorry, it was because you've got this line on the camera and it just show you like, so you're straight. Okay, cool. First, direct. Direct, the author is explicitly telling you, it's off center again. You know what? It is what it is. It's okay. We moving forward. Focus. Direct, the author is telling you exactly what's going on, who this person is. Goldilocks is a criminal. That's who she is. She does bad things. She does crime. We can show this through things like narration. We can do the text boxes, and the comic, and etc. The direct approach can tell things that the reader could obviously observe for themselves. Like when we open that picture book, when we open up Goldilocks and the Three Bears, we see that Goldilocks is in the woods by herself in the first place. What's going on? In other fable and character stories, like, okay, somebody went, Little Red Riding Hood, she was on her way somewhere. She did get distracted. She did talk to strangers. But Goldilocks is in the woods by herself. Up to no good. You're not where you're supposed to be. So we're listening and we're judging. The other form of directness is what they wear, how they present themselves. sticks with the reader. So when we see Goldilocks, yes, we see the golden hair, but look at the clothes. What she got on? How is she walking? How's her posture? How's she carrying herself? And just because Goldilocks, we see that golden, beautiful hair, doesn't actually mean she has this golden, beautiful personality. So we can show direct characterization through the clothes. We see the golden hair, but her face is dirty. Her clothes are dirty. She's not well taken care of. Through the setting, she's in the woods. Now, is this a normal place for a young individual to be? It's mysterious. It's a little suspicious. Then we have our cinematography or our panel and frame choice and usage. We have close ups. We're zoomed in on her face. We can really see the dirt smudges on her cheek. Maybe she has the golden hair, but it's frizzy, it's a little matted. We can, lighting choice. It's very intense lighting in the woods. She's almost blending in with the shadows, but her hair is radiating around her. So the outfit, the time, the place, and the panel set up can reveal more about the character before we even have the dialogue of Goldilocks. I promise y'all, I'm about to write a Goldilocks and the Three Bears comic once Comic Book Making Club is available, and everyone who likes, shares, and subscribe will be able to get first dibs looks, or just subscribe to my Ko-fi or something. Just stay tuned, okay? Stay tuned. All right, now let's talk about indirect. Indirect reveals information about the character through their behavior. It's through all those other aspects of direct, but it's implied. The reader pieces together these character traits. And some character behavior counteracts their appearance. We have our sweet Goldilocks, as I've said before, is actually a criminal mastermind. Okay, we see the golden hair, she's got the big doe eyes. But really underneath that mind, I need to get this money. I need to get this porridge. So our actions are speaking louder than our words. She broke an entering. She ate the food, all the food. She ate the hot bowl, the cold bowl, and the warm bowl. Then she's sitting on chairs. She's doing the most. Dialogue can also be used as indirect characterization. Think of the duality. Maybe Goldilocks has a conscience. So in her mind, it's I need to get this porridge. I really shouldn't be here right now. Is there another option? So it's that inner monologue that a character could have with themselves that would show maybe some semblance or moral standing, if you will. Ethics. That's the word. Ethics. Does she have ethics? We'll find out. So you can use both to establish who your character is. So you can use the indirect and the direct approach in establishing who your character is. So Goldilocks. So before we find out Goldilocks is a hardened criminal, maybe we see other characters in our story talking about, hey, be on the lookout. There's a little girl with blonde hair running around breaking into people's houses at night. So make sure you lock your doors. Bears, did you lock them doors? Illustrate with props around them. So, maybe we have like a wanted poster showing Goldilocks' face. And we're like, we got wanted posters up. We've got, news broadcasts before the bears leave for the day. Hey, be on the lookout for a suspicious individual with blonde hair. Things like that. Then the character's action. So we see Goldilocks hiding behind a tree, looking around. Maybe she's got a loot bag like on her shoulder. Okay. Then lastly, what the opening dialogue is. Goldilocks is standing behind the tree. She's peering over with her bag on her shoulder as she watches the bears leave and don't lock the door. Because this is, like old fashioned where you gotta like turn around, push the key lock. Or maybe it's modern. Maybe you gotta enter that code, do 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 do. And like, I got him. And that dialogue propels some of our character traits without even starting the whole story. So we know that Goldilocks is a hard criminal with a rough life and it's about to get real. Part 3. So we know how our character is, but what do they want and why? So just recap again, we have how we establish our character, their goals, their motivation, their value. then we illustrate those things, or we illustrate who our character is through indirect, direct, or both approaches of storytelling with that first panel placement. What are you drawing? What are you writing in that's going to tell people about your main character or characters? So now we're talking about character art has entered the chat. This would be a great cue for like my phone, my tablet to ping. But character art is the focus, the changes of a character throughout the story. So in our Goldilocks analogy, how is Goldilocks going to change? We establish that the character has quirks and flaws and that they're going to grow. So that moral or ethics ideology that Goldilocks has, that angel on her shoulder telling her, maybe we should stop. Maybe we've robbed enough houses, is going to be a part of showing that, this character could use some growth. They could use some development. And somehow my notes got upside down. Oh no, wait for it. No, they did not. I just misread what I wrote. Establish that the character has a quirk or flaw. As your story progresses, they should grow. 2 notes. That's where we're at. Because I don't have like a segue, but I did. And I scratched it out and it got sloppy. Type your notes. Don't write them. Okay? Type them. 1. Not all stories have a protagonist and an antagonist, but they all have conflict. I have another video coming up about conflict and the different types of conflict and ways we can illustrate conflict resolution. So type in conflict videos or your favorite types of conflict if you would love to see that video sooner than a week from now. Note 2. The type of conflict helps define the type of character arc. What is the challenges or what are the struggles of your character achieving their goal that will shape what kind of arc we have? And we have 3. We've got our positive, our negative, and our flat. Those are the 3 most common character arcs that we see in stories. So the positive, if our Goldilocks story is a positive arc, then Goldilocks is going to change from good to bad. Goldilocks get caught. Now Goldilocks is doing community service. Goldilocks loves community service and giving back and helping other at-risk youth from robbing homes. Now Goldilocks owns a Fortune 500 nonprofit company, all with the help of, getting caught by the bears. Okay. Or the negative, the opposite of positive. Oh, the bears bust in on Goldilocks sleeping in the baby's bed. Now it's an all-out war. Goldilocks got goons. Now they're fighting. It was bears versus the Goldie gang. And it's crazy. It's madness. And now they have Prime Enterprise and they're taking over. They are taking over. Okay, sorry. Tone it down. Okay. And then we have flat. The character doesn't change. They knew it all along the whole time. That angel on Goldilocks' shoulders just like, they're like, yeah, but I'm going to get this porridge anyways. They get the porridge. They wake up in the bed. And guess what? They're like, oh, you caught me? They jump out the window, run off, go lay low for a couple days. And that's it. And when we're writing a series, depending on the subject and the character's goal and the conflict, have the arc span the entire series. We don't need, if it's a one shot, do that. But if it is a 12 episode or 12 volume story, we need this to stretch out. We need to see that continuous struggle of it. And this is how you do it. Reason, reaction, result, conflict resolution. The acronym I recently learned was DREAM. But we're going to pause for a second because I skipped something and I'm sorry for that. I thank y'all for watching. I really do. Write your favorite storybook analogy and maybe I will use it in the next video because more are coming. Okay. So also note that multiple characters can have character arcs. So if you've got Goldilocks and she has the moral angel on her shoulder, they can have a character arc too. But it's not necessary to the plot. Once you're at protagonists to have it. I always, like, when I'm speaking, I confuse protagonist and antagonist because A comes before P. But anybody else have that problem? Okay, just me? All right. Shame. The cone of shame. Um, so the acronym DREAM. We have denial, resistance, exploration, acceptance, and manifestation. So D is for denial. I don't have a problem. Obviously there is a problem. Establish what is blocking them from the goal. So if we look at Goldilocks' original goal, she wants the porridge. We have to find out that she doesn't have a problem. It's deeper than the porridge. But Goldilocks is like, nah, I just need a porridge. You see what I'm saying? Then we have resistance. I see I have a problem, but, or, it's not that big a deal. It's not that bad. I can quit anytime. Okay? That's that resistance. Like, okay, yeah, I did rob a couple different houses. There was the pigs, it was the grandma, it was the wolf, but I'm good. I can stop anytime. It's the resistance to change. Now, for pacing, characters can attempt to solve the problem, and their reaction to the problem will stretch along your episodic Goldilocks and the Three Bears retelling. Now we have exploration. We're going to explore the problem. We are going to maybe just one try. In their attempt, they fail, but they learn something new. So, what if we change the story? What if Goldilocks is 2 spoons deep into that warm, delicious porridge and is like, you know what? I'm gonna stop. The conscience finally gets to her. Or you know what? Like maybe I'm gonna just leave. Maybe she leaves before because conviction. Maybe she sees the family photos on the wall. Maybe there's something that happens that say, you know what? I do have a problem. Maybe it's the confrontation with the bears, walking in or sleeping in that baby bear's bed. Okay, you sleeping in the baby's bed, and it's that exploration. It's the okay, you know what? I do have a problem, and that's acceptance. Or A. Is that A? Is that this is A? I know this is A. Is this A? We don't do that anymore. Okay, I'm sorry. Acceptance. Accept that they had a problem. The character has changed and acknowledge the truth. Goldilocks now realizes that this ain't the life I want to live anymore. I'm destroying lives. I'm breaking up homes. I need to quit. I need to stop. I have a problem, and I'm going to address it. And then the addressing is the manifestation. Okay, you got to manifest, write it down, make your vision, make it plain. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Type, you know what I'm saying in the chat, okay? I mean, in the comment section, not the chat, because this isn't live. Anyways, like, share, and subscribe if you love these kind of videos. We're just having a conversation. It's Comic Book Club. So I hope that you're laughing. I hope that you are sharing with your friends and enjoying every minute of this. We're still going. Manifestation. The action they take after acceptance. They have resolved their conflict and are a new being, a new character. If we're going with the positive character arc for our Goldilocks story, then Goldilocks has accepted that my lack of parenting and upbringing doesn't mean that I have to be a hardened criminal. I'm disbanding the Goldilocks gang and I'm helping the at-risk youth. I'm going to pay and do community service and pay back all the families that I've hurt and destroyed. If it's a negative arc, though, if we want to be spicy with it, then Goldilocks like, this is only the beginning. This is only the starting point of the chaos. Now the thing chime. If y'all hear these chimes in the background, I'm sorry. I usually record with it somewhere else, or I think I don't. But anyways, moving on. We're almost done with notes, y'all. Woo woo! High fives! High fives in the comment section. Okay, I'm trying to be more active, because I just want that engagement and just people to see that I love doing this. Okay, and I might do more videos because that would be great. Don't sue me. So other options for a character arc is to have your character fall further into denial. That's that negative arc. or they stop at acceptance. They will always have the problem, and that's it. That is it. This is Goldilocks' life. This is who Goldilocks is. Goldilocks is Goldilocking up everything. Okay. So, character arc establishes the why and the motivation for your character's goal. So, we understand that, through this arc, Goldilocks is the hardened criminal that they have become because of past childhood trauma. They've become the hardened criminal because they are neglected at home. They were allowed to run free into the woods. Okay. It's not the 90s anymore. You can't play in the woods by yourself anymore. All right. So, for an example of how I could have written a character arc better in my comic, Snack Time the Picnic, available on Amazon. I'm about to switch over to my own store, but we will talk about that later. Another video, another time. Is first episode of the book, Dinner Time. We start with the children wanting chili dogs. Mom's like, okay, cool, I'll make the chili dogs. She makes the chili dogs. Only one out of the three kids, three, like it. I don't have four. I've got three. Okay. And, mom's like, there's no resolution. There's nothing. So it was really flat. So the way I could develop the arc is picking which character I'm illustrating the story for. And I've thought about this two different ways. So if I go with the method of having mom being the main character, it's like, okay, what does mom want? We established the goal of mom. Mom wants to make a good dinner that her kids will actually eat. Ask the kids what do they want. They said they want chili dogs. Now we've established what you want. Now why? The reason why, the motivation, I want to feed them something they can eat. The values, the mom values family, wants to make her kids happy. All of that right there in the beginning. The characterization is the dialogue, the direct or the indirect applied dialogue about asking the kids their opinion on what they want to have for dinner. Okay, maybe the setting is where she's asking them. She's asking them while they're working, or maybe she's in the grocery store. Things like that could have added on to that 3-page comic. So I could have expanded mom's role, and same goes for the children. The children want the chili dogs because their favorite video game character eats chili dogs. You know who I'm talking about. And because they see it, they want it. That's their motivation. So they have a motivation for the goal. Their values, that game character is cool. I want to be cool like them. I'm going to eat the same thing. How do we establish this? We can open up with them playing the game and their character having a celebratory chili dog. Chili dogs are great. I've got to find a new catchphrase. But they are enjoying the chili dog. Then the reaction, the result, the conflict, the resolution. So the reasoning is, why do we want the chili dogs? We'd have the goal. That's the first thing. Characters need goals. Okay, we're heading into our summary now. So if you could just, like, share, and subscribe, that would be great. Greatly appreciated. We love you here at Comic Book Making Club. Try to get consistent with our videos. And I think the best way to do that is just make more videos. So what do you want to talk about next? Put it in the comments. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Okay. So the reason is the why. Why does Goldilocks want the porridge? Why do the snack time characters want the chili dogs? Why does the mom want to feed her kids chili dogs? The reaction. That part is, okay, Goldilocks wants the porridge, so how do I get that porridge? I'm going to break into this house. Kids want the chili dogs. I'm going to beg mom for chili dogs until she gives them to me. I want to feed the kids, or mom wants to feed the kids food that they would like. Let me take the kids to the grocery store and let them pick. Okay. So we're moving into like, okay, how do we establish that we're getting to our goal? Then we have the result. So because mom took the kids to the grocery store, the kids put a chili dog kit in the grocery cart. Because they put the chili dog kit in the grocery cart, mom makes chili dogs. So we're in our results. They make the chili dog. The kids don't like the chili dogs because they came in a kit. Or Goldilocks eats the porridge, gets too full, goes to sit in the chair, breaks the chair, goes to lay in the bed. The bears come home. Now we have conflict resolution. So I wanted the porridge. I got the porridge, but the porridge caused me to break up all the furniture in the house and fall asleep. Bears come home. Positive arc. I'm sorry. Take me to jail. Community service. Negative arc. You'll never take me alive. Jumping out the window. Mom. Positive arc. Oh, that's okay, guys. I'll make you something else. Let's just order pizza. Negative arc. You know what? If you ever ask me for this again, I will never make it again. But I'm not that kind of mom. She's not that kind of mom. Okay, it's me. Surprise! I'm the mom in snack time. If you didn't know by the book, it's amazing. It's my first book. Insert promo. This video is sponsored by me because I'm amazing. Okay, so now it's time for our summary. Thank you for watching this long. This video turned out longer than I thought it would be, but I'm happy to have you here. Character development. We establish what our character wants. Number 2, what is getting in the way of them? The conflict. What's blocking them from getting that goal? Whether it's morals, whether it's life, something has to make them not be able to get what they want so we can have a story. Because if you don't have conflict, then you don't have development. You don't have a growth to happen or lack thereof. What motivates your character to achieve their goal and resolve the conflict? So if Goldilocks wants porridge, why does Goldilocks want porridge? What is the inspiration for porridge? Then we have the mom. You want to feed the kids good food. Why? So they actually have a meal that they like to eat. And 5, how will they change? You have lots of different directions you can go. You can do the flat arc where nobody changes. Nothing happens. And you can leave it at that. Mom's like, okay, well, I'll try something else and ask the kids again what they want to eat. Or she's learned her lesson and like, I will plan the menu and you can eat it or starve. Okay? Or she can be like, you know what? It's okay. Well, let's try something else. You've got options to writing. But I think the overall summary, this is me going off script. So I did not throw them. They are on the ground. We do not throw things in the house. Character development is building the reasons why your character exists in the first place. It's all about writing down or establishing who they are, what they want, and the why. And then, how do they get what they want? After they get it, how do they feel? And that's it. So, thanks for tuning in to Comic Book Making Club. I am Cami Cam of Cami Cam Comics. I will see you around on the internet. Stay tuned, stay blessed. I love y'all. Bye.